Okay, good evening, Twitch. Welcome to day 3 of another Castle's 31 Days of Horror. I'm Tyler, and I'll be playing tonight. Tonight we're playing Home, advertised as a unique horror adventure by Benjamin Rivers. The game came out 2 years ago. And it's a really short game. It's about an hour and a half. In fact, they advise you to sit down and finish it in just like set aside an hour and a half, and finish the game in one sitting. So it's pretty short. It's a pixelated game. It's like an 8-bit game, what you might see on the Super Nintendo. The thing about this game is it delivers like such a unique brand of like tension and horror that I don't think has ever been seen using this kind of art style. This like innocent and simplistic art style, but it's a great murder mystery, and it'll definitely have you jumping. Anyhow, before we get started here, allow me to say just a few things. So, Another Castle's 31 Days of Horror is exactly what it sounds like. 31 days of horror. Movies and games. The main site, which is thisisanothercastle.com. So the main site will be uploading a new horror review every day to some really obscure and also really well-known horror movies, while Brandon, Spencer, and myself will be streaming a horror game every day, and for the rest of the month. If you stay tuned on Twitch, we'll be giving away codes to several of the games we're playing, and on the 31st we'll be playing Jason Rohr's The Castle Doctrine, which is one of the games we'll be giving away. That is an MMO in which you play a guy defending his wife and kids. You have to fortify your home with dogs and traps and things of that nature, and defend your family and resources against other players as they break in to steal your resources to better protect their family. So that's what we'll be doing on the 31st, giving away a couple codes, 5 codes actually, throughout the month. So stay tuned there, and I think that's about it. Let's jump into Home. Okay, it'll save automatically. See, it recommends setting aside an hour and a half to complete in a single sitting. Headphones, lights out, of course. It's a horror game. Those things should go without saying. Really simple control scheme here. And here we go. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. See, as you can see, it's pretty familiar if you've ever played a Super Nintendo. Looks a bit like Haunted Mansion, which we'll actually be playing later this month with Spencer, I believe we'll be playing. You can find the full schedule on the website. But anyhow, enough of that. Let's get into Home, guys. That house, where was I? Not quite sure what's up here. I'm not getting any response from my controller, excuse me. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Jeez. See? It looks like a staircase. I think I'll wait. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but... Did I open the drawer? Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. It looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look familiar? Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Let's go back downstairs. The ceiling seems to be leaking. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How'd I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, trying to find some way out. A thin, gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic, but exhausted. Did I free it? I don't like mice. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in the shed? This was an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been used for here? I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it'd been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Something must have opened somewhere. The mouse was dead. Looked like the cat had got to it. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. What? An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. A black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Okay, downstairs. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning, or him. There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out. They were pretty blurry. It seemed that the tray had been left there, considered how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Oh my god. The door was taped, but it seemed to be stuck. By the smell, guessed it led to the kitchen. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I'd found a way out. I must have moved it, right? I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. Don't think I want to go down there yet. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I can only make out a few of the notes. Didn't I miss a room? Oh, this is the bathroom. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Well, guess I'm not going that way. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. Dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked on the old map of town. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more. Tried to find some kind of information. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. Did I take it? I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper, covered with what looked like names. None of them made any sense to me. This Benjamin fellow uses the word caked a lot. Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked caked with blood. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. Oh, I didn't want to go down there. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. Oh my. So I feel as though that is a mixture of two things. Blood, which it obviously looks like, and that. That's disgusting. Give me just a moment. Oh, give me just one more second, guys. I forgot about the social network. Okay, guys, so very sorry about that. I do apologize. And we are back. What is this? It looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that a woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? Alright, this place is freaking disturbing. Alright, so we have this cage with what I make out to be a body and this corrosive from the shelf. I want out of this place now. Some kind of old boxes. They look like they were years old. Wait a minute. The boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. The heck? There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Maybe the rope would make the broken ladder easier to descend. Did you all hear that whisper? What the heck was that? Rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? I could hear a faint hum. The smell from before started to get worse. Alright, I guess I can go back up there if I need. Bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. Ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through there. But it was so high up. Must have been a sore landing. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? I'll wait. A kitchen knife. Covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? I'm leaving it there. Still had the old handgun. I wasn't sure what good a knife would have been. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Wasn't sure, but there was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Wasn't sure about those valves. Did I turn it? The noise stopped. Through the dust, I could see handprints from purveyor's use. Probably from whoever worked in those sewers. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyway? You always turn a valve. How can you resist? Yeah, I'll just turn one of them. No, turn them both. Never mind. Through the dust I could... no, nothing new. I think I'll take a look up here. Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I looked at it anyway. Well, I'm leaving. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. I'm supposing this is what the valves are for. Oh, maybe I can use the knife to open that door. The kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Yes, yes, I read this. I slipped the knife into my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all this? Yes, because for some reason... Nope. I really like this, like the dust effect with the shading pixels. It's extremely well made. Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? The valve was still active. Well, come on. Okay. I thought I could turn this water valve and shut off the flow. Did I turn it? Hey, look at that. Progression. And what the hell? Looked like the water drained out from that grate in this wall. There's a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd-shaped. I had no idea what it might open. I have but a single clue. I believe it was this way. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. I would like to know what's in there. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. Well, use the key, bro. No. Okay, well, I guess the key is for another day. I found another dead body. A sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out from the man's pocket. Did I take it? Of course, there are locked doors. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust. I carefully picked the keys from the pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what happened. Maybe the VHS tape could be useful. Okay, rooms locked. Go now. I used the key ring to unlock the door. The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape. I like how he didn't use caked there, as the writer's done like 82 times. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on the VHS tape I found. Oh no. The man showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. Tape looked fuzzy and stretched, like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been 2 men. There's still one more door I want to see. I tried a bunch of keys and keyring and found on the sewer worker, and one of them seemed to fit. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. Did that sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? That room didn't seem like much of a place for drinking. What was the point? The faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from a local train station and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be, but did I keep the receipt? Yeah, why not? I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. Oh yeah, the ladder. That's where I need to go. Oh my god. Wait, what? I thought I came down the other ladder. I am confused. Okay, VHS tape. And dead body. Okay. This must have been the other end of the ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past that flooded room with this. The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all those clippings away in the... Was it the same person that hid all those clippings away in the locked room? Okay, outside. That's nice. Okay. Not a fan of the crickets. An old ladder leading up to the ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb. Did I extend the ladder? Yes. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. What is this? Writings on the wall. Okay. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. Bloody handprints we see. Wait, what? Okay, that was it. I tried the little key. I fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. Typo! Looks like we're at the back side of the water tower. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. I want to visit an old train station. An old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined inside. Inside the ticket window were sheets of paper and... Wait. What were these? Train receipts? An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. The old train was ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence was a dark, stained patch of cloth. Could they have been bullet marks? Was someone shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I guess I can't go through that hole. Back outside. forest. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map I had seen. However, whoever was poking around in these tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled. I almost wished I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering the dark forest. Alright. Onward. Except not there. Oh, I guess I have to. The trial picnic table sat lonely amongst the trees. It had carvings and marks from years of previous campers. As I tried to read some of the names and the marks, I idly thumbed the knife I'd found. If I wanted to, I could have carved something into that table. Did I? Why not? With a few crude strokes, I etched a simple design into the wood, R+H. I felt like a teenager defacing the table. What? The path ended in a cold-looking river. I was sure it was safe to cross like this. Did I cross? Okay, something's here. Two bodies, two young women, were half dug into a nasty, shallow grave between the trees. The younger looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. I had no idea who these girls were. I didn't touch the gravesite, did I? It was best to leave them alone and find a way out of those damn woods. Okay, path number 1. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? I'm leaving it. I felt uneasy carrying the identification. I stomped the card back into the ground. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burning at the bottom. There were kids here, weren't there? The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. Was someone else out in the woods? Why'd they abandon their campsite? No, don't look. No. No. I'm looking. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There was a damp-smelling plank leaning against the small door. Might have been able to cross the river with it. Did I take it? Why not? I managed to carry the plank under my arm so it didn't get in the way. I think I came out of this one. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. It must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Finding that campsite had been strangely unsettling. I couldn't imagine why anyone would abandon their site in the middle of the night, especially in the dark forest. I was relieved, at least, to finally be out of there. Even now, as I peered through the dense trees, I could see cracks of light and a bit of the land beyond. Looks like I'm on a road. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. One door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was posted there to the front that said, "Danger. Closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving the power. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. Well, I guess we are on a quest. Every path of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Oh, wrong. There we go, there we go. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes, and from the guy, there were notes to and from the guys that worked there. One of them was Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yes. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped on the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Of course I pushed it. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. The power panel still wasn't working. Did I try it again? There we go. We have the power. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. The door had been hastily boarded up. I wonder why. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Did I push it? A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take it? As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Someone had been here recently. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Of course you took it! I slipped the key card into my pocket. Another panel that I hoped could get the power back on. The power still wasn't working. Okay, I think that's it. But first, that boarded door. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the plank, I left the hammer on the floor. This was my locker, there in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. Something is amiss. Which one of these doors had the key card? The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the key card? There was some old ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it is. Did I? Yes. Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter? Most of the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was "Need to." What was Normand going on about? That room at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles, it was really getting to me. Maybe I was just distracted. Who went up there and used that room? Oh, man. I completely skipped. That's what happens, I guess. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. I needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. I lifted up the dumpster lid and fished around, not sure what I was looking for. Felt something hard amongst all the rotting food and containers. It's my driver's license. What the hell was it doing there? No. The card was disgusting. I didn't even want to think of what else had been rotting in that bin. I buried it back down where no one would find it. It sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of the television. The hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on the rack. That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing here? Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. Gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? I carefully pushed the piece back in place, and felt a great burden lifted. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. Oh no. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, and one of my few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. Norman, maybe you deserve better. He probably did. Did I close his eyes? He closed his eyelids down, shuddering as I did so. I wasn't sure if wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through the mess, did I? I was already filthy and exhausted. I didn't want to keep rooting around in garbage. I bet there's something in there. I found a hairpin among the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. What the hell is happening? Oh, excuse me, guys. Wasn't this Norman's room? Indeed. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store he ran. It's oddly quiet. Oh, yes. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Norman was dead, but I had no idea why. Was he involved in all of this somehow? Or was he just another victim? Looks like I've got a couple options here. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. Okay, I guess this is correct. This gate was locked tight. It wasn't my house. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out, as if someone hadn't pushed it in all the way. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter inside. It read, "Stay away, she's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. Wrong gate. Looks like I'm going this way. Or maybe here. I had entered the backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remember having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. God, this music though, man. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. There was a torn photo of Rachel and I from a few years ago. I couldn't find any of my other stuff, but at least I found that. Did I take back the photo? I wasn't sure why I had discarded the image, but as I looked at it, I felt a bit unsettled. Those were happier times for sure. I gently put the image back into my wallet. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. Or CG. Oh my god, what's happening? My laptop had been left on and only had a teeny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in front of the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Pocketed the key. Was stuck shut with an old-fashioned. Well, I guess that's not the right key. I unlocked the basement door. Garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take it? Yes. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things. I just enunciated the L. Things were obviously hadn't thrown out yet. There were old Christmas decorations in this box. Just wanna know! Nope, that's the kitchen. Back upstairs. The grimy key I found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did someone break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need it? Those are always useful. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Well, I don't think Rachel's here. Outside, the front door was locked from the inside. Wait, what? Oh, did it break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar to the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This is it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped onto the corner. In the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. After all this searching, after all I had seen when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? My hands trembled as I pulled back the layers of cloth. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened? Rachel, who did this to you? Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. This was the old photo of that other man and his wife, I assumed. I found it in that house. Well, did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess? Definitely. Those tunnels, the odd tools in the house, and the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent, that's for sure. Wrong way. Wait, maybe not. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? Couldn't leave, not until I thought about this some more. I needed answers. So, wait a minute. But who had killed him? In the few broken pieces that remained in the mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. Grimy glass in the shadow. It was the keycard I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. No, someone else was using that locker room, but who? The laptop had finally run out of power. I wonder if I still have that, still have the VHS. It was the letter I had taken from the post box. Who had it out for Norman? Who sent him that letter? Wasn't sure what to think of it. Did he murder Rachel? No way. Norman had ended up dead himself. Whoever sent that threatening letter must have gotten to him. But who the hell was that? From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. office safe sat on the floor. I used a digital passcode. Did I try to open it? The 8-digit code. What was the damn code again? Can't. Hold on. I can't seem to figure it out. For sake of time, our friends. Of the internet will help us. Just a second, guys. I know there's not many people in here. Do you have any ideas of the password? Okay. Hold up! I can't figure this out. Okay, we've got 4R, just a moment. 4RH. No, 4R. 3UH. ER3. Okay, so I must have missed that when I went through the hole in the, what was it called? The plant, you know, where he worked. I must have missed that, because I did skip that door. I pulled open the safe, the small door, and peered inside. We looked happy, though. Odd. I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. Did I open the envelope and read what was inside? I tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper from it, paper inside. On it was a letter written in a hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "But you know as well as I do that things quickly changed. Your drinking was one thing, but as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, what's going on here?" Killed him. Here's my wallet with my contents, with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or someone else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe someone else stole it from me. Norman's store, the forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one who lost my wallet and its contents. Damn this town. We only wanted a nice place to settle down, not this madness. Just thinking about things like this made me sick to grief. Seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe, I thought, I was ready to go back into the basement. guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare. But what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped me in some way to stay grounded. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there was too many things I had seen to think otherwise. I'd found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout the town. I hoped it meant that he had nothing to do with that guard's violent end. Damn, Norman. How'd you get mixed up in this? I know you weren't a perfect man. No one of us are. But you didn't deserve this. Maybe whoever had done you in was responsible for the other murders that happened in the town. I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how helpless it was? It all was. There was no sound of television, radio, even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there, lying, ruined and decrepit in the basement. Knowing that man was dead, though, was cold. Knowing that man was dead, though, was cold comfort. My wife was gone, and no matter what happened to me now, I was lost forever. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. Well, guys, I guess that's home. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. The end. Okay, so yeah, that's, wow, okay, that's home. So, I had played some of Home before. I knew kind of what to expect. It was tense. I played like, I don't know. I played a little bit of it. So I kind of knew what I was getting in for, but I didn't know it was gonna end that way. And I know there's multiple endings. Yeah. It's really abrupt. So here's what I liked about it. I like the art style. I like that it's simple, minimalistic, and still it's able to do through that, or maybe in spite of, I don't know, through the art, it's still able to deliver a tense and a tense mystery. But the writing, man, it's a little buggy. Yeah, Home is a little buggy, so I don't know if it was the controller, because you've got to press the down, you got to press the stick down to either exit the text or continue the text. And I don't know if it just like it was super sensitive and skipped text, or there's just blocks of text missing. But especially towards the end, some things just didn't make sense. Like after we just walked out of the house, there was kind of nothing there. Let's see. There was a few scares. That's cool. That's what we're doing here. We're playing games for scares. But let me get back on the writing. It's good. It's a good experience to have if you like horror and mystery. But I don't think it's delivered in such a great way, because you have choice over everything that happens. Like literally everything. You saw me, do I pick up the knife? Do I pick up the tape? Do I play the tape? Do I unlock the door? And while that's novel for a little bit, it quickly wears off, especially in that I think it falls short at the end because of the amount of freedom. I don't believe Norman killed his wife. I think there's still plenty of evidence that the main character killed his wife. And they could have delivered that in a better way through all the choices, instead of just giving you the choice of denial, essentially. So, I mean, it's like it says, it's a unique horror experience. It falls short in some ways. Definitely play it. It's $3 anywhere: Amazon, Humble, iOS, or Steam. There's no reason not to get it if you're looking for a nice mystery horror experience to have. Just sit down and invest an hour and a half in. But I probably won't end up playing it again. Probably wasn't such a great sale. Sorry. So anyway, that's it for day 3 of 31 Days of Horror. I am Tyler Barrett again. Visit thisisanothercastle.com to see all of our movie reviews for the month. The site will be putting up a new horror movie review every day, and Spencer, Brandon, and myself, the Twitch team, will be streaming a different game. Tomorrow, let me see. Tomorrow, I do believe that I'm just gonna check for you. So anyway, yeah, join us every day throughout the month as we give away a few of the games we'll be playing. One of which I am so very excited for. On the 31st, join us and play with us as we experience The Castle Doctrine by Jason Rohrer. He's most well known for Passage and Inside a Star-Filled Sky. I'm very excited about this. It's an MMO in which players have to fortify their homes. They play as a man protecting his wife and kids. You fortify your home against other players as they break in and try to steal your resources. And murder your family. It reminds me a little bit of The Purge, and that's why I decided to play this on the 31st. It's going to be a very tense experience with you guys. I hope you really you tune in for that. So back to what I was saying. Tomorrow, which is the 4th. Brandon will be playing Walking Dead Episode 1. He's kind of behind. He has not played any episode from The Walking Dead. I think he's played like 10 minutes of the first episode. So it should be very fun to see what he decides to do as Lee Everett, and how he decides to raise little Clementine. Stay tuned for that. He'll be playing the entire series over the month. But that's it, guys. We'll be back tomorrow on the 5th and 6th. I'll be playing Lone Survivor, one of my favorite games of all time. And later on, I'll be experiencing Amnesia for the first time. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you later. Join Brandon tomorrow. Have a good night.